I've for years highlighted the significance of people's work as part of the creation mandates. In a face-to-face class, this opens up some interesting conversations among those who are preparing for pastoral or missionary ministries, but I faced the challenge in my Old Testament survey course, which is offered totally online. Students in a given section are distributed across the globe. So, with generous assistance from the Kern Family Foundation, I prepared and produced a learning module which was meant to expand a bit from the Genesis 2:28 passage and to challenge common notions of calling. To prompt students to think in terms of a theology of living biblically whatever one puts one's hands to, whether it's for pay or not for pay. So, since during the course my conversation partners would never see the whites of my eyes, it seemed important to find ways to engage a student to a degree that a white paper or an essay may not. Once I outlined the way I wanted to develop my theme, I began thinking about ways that I might illustrate the ideas and help the students sense that I really wanted to engage them in a dialogue, albeit a remote one. So, once I put my talking points, polished them up, I built a portfolio of photos and sketches in order to engage the student visually as well as orally. I learned how to do video scribing to help moderate that blobbity blah 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 syndrome. And then I laid out the presentation in software called Prezi, recorded my comments and screen as I advanced through the presentation. Well, as with other modules in the course, I asked students to engage with each other in discussion on Moodle of what they've learned, what surprised them, what they need to dig into further. From monitoring the discussion boards, this is proving to be fruitful. I asked for feedback regarding the learning experience, and one student wrote, "Wow, this week's videos provide some rich content that I'll always be referring to. It not only provided great information that I need to learn for this course, but it also ministered to my heart. I believe that work, stewardship, and calling are important subjects that needed to be taught more in churches. The matter of stewardship really resonated with me. We're called to be good stewards of what God has entrusted to us: time, talent, money. As Professor Ferris states, for many Christians, stewardship is a money word. In reality, biblical stewardship is a whole life word." Well, another student wrote, "I really found the video on the theology of living biblically most interesting. I appreciated Dr. Ferris's intro and discussion around the awkwardness of the question, 'So what do you do?' In Turkey, that question is even more complex for a variety of reasons I won't go into, and I'm still working toward finding a better second question to replace that work one. I applaud his perspective regarding the goal of working being beyond money, though again I think Turks have a harder time believing that than Americans, especially if they're hearing it from an American. The theological implementation of 1 Corinthians 10:31 is well placed here. This passage was fundamental for me in my younger days, starting to think differently about full-time Christian work versus secular work. It is indeed more about who I am, my heart attitude, than it is about what I do. So, thanks to the Kerns for helping me develop I think a very fruitful project.